Sup with it.
Sup with it. Or as Sheridan would say, sucks with it. Dude, how are you, man?
Tired. Tired, tired, tired.
Why are you tired?
Finally back in Richmond. Was out of town for a bit over a week. Long road trip, but good to be back. Good to be back in more ways than one.
Wait, are you from Richmond?
No, I'm from New York originally. My sister actually went to college at Hampton University, so about an hour from Richmond. But yeah, it is. It's good to be back home now.
Dude, you got me on a very nostalgic trip looking at your Twitter feed, man.
Dude, it was kind of funny just I guess going through all those old pictures because I guess while we're waiting, so shouts to the LSL team. Tapo, of course, you've been the unsung hero of LSL, but I most certainly have not forgotten your contributions.
Dude,
But Gangly,
I don't even do much.
dude, that's what we need from you. um, but yeah, we've been working on a couple of episodes, and Gangly, who is going to, he did the Wombo Combo episode, so he was the main force behind that episode. He's working on Kage versus Manga, and I said to myself, you know what? I was there, and I was salty because I got knocked out in pools. Let me see if I took pictures of that. And I just ended up going down the rabbit hole. And big shout out, of course, to Stumpface Cannon, who is subbing to you right now, Tapo.
Yeah, thank you so much. Shouts to the Tafo Kins. Dude, I'm gonna have to ask you some questions because there are some people in that photo like where I'd pass by them a lot and I'd even have conversations. I just don't know their name, and it's bugging
Oh,
me. So I'm gonna have to
let
ask
me
you some
see.
questions.
Let me see, man. My memory is not as good as it used to be, but let me see who I remember.
Gosh, I remember there's this like one guy on the right side of a photo that like really bugged me. That like I just didn't know. I'm gonna
Send the
look.
picture over, man.
I'm looking on my iPhone now.
Okay.
That's
But
gonna
again, a
take a
big thank
while.
you to everyone that's tuning in, of course, to the early bird session of Commentator's Curse. You guys are doing an award show tonight, right?
Yeah, do you want to do your awards while you're here?
Oh,
I'll
I
put you
didn't
on the
know I had
spot.
awards.
All right.
Oh, what's up?
All right. So on the Ultra Chen show earlier this week, they did a bunch of categories with the usual four.
Uh
Um,
huh.
in each category, they got to list three. I know that's a
Okay.
bit much, so I'm just going to ask you to name as many as you can, up to
Okay.
three.
Let's see
So,
how it goes.
so the categories are this, and you can pick the category you want to go over first. So I'm giving you some
Let's go
leeway.
one at a time.
Player of the year, if we're going to start that way.
Ooh, Tafo.
That's why I want to give you the categories and then let you choose what you want to go through.
Jeez.
So there's player of the year, match of the year, event of the year, story of the year, community member of the year, newcomer of the year, and random select.
Okay. Uh, let's start with Player of the Year. You know, consistency always wins in my book. Um, so we already know who the final two are. I'm talking about that.
Yep.
Jeez. It's a coin toss, and as much as I think I will give Hungry Box probably the moment of the year, I think for the body of the work over the year, I got to go with that Swedish guy. I got to go with him.
Okay, that's fair. And for you guys that don't know, Armada.
He's all right.
He's
It's
a,
pretty
he's
decent.
a,
He's, yeah.
All right, I found the photo.
Okay.
All right, and I tagged you in the. I just responded to you in a tweet.
Okay.
Okay, so you have Armada H box. Do you want to put
Oh,
a?
that's Arc Natural.
That's his name.
Arc Natural. Yep.
Okay, like I never knew his name, and I never bothered to ask because like I felt like with talking him, I reached a point where I talked to him so much that I reached a point of no return.
Right. And it's like, oh, I know you, but I don't know who you are. Yeah. Oh
Okay.
man, this what tournament was this? This might have been maybe a Zenith. This feels like a Zenith picture.
I mean, everyone here is heavily New England. I guess Voodoo Jin's in that photo. It looks like
Yeah,
it looks like
it's New England and Pittsburgh. 'Cause you got
yeah,
Carroll, you got Swift Base, the Lake, Voodoo Gin, Green Ranger back when he was out there because he's in New York now.
yeah.
Then on the far left you have Nut and ooh, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Ben Grimm from Long Island. Those two
Ooh,
guys.
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Neither have I. Jeez.
So, you know, I can tell that he genuinely retired because he had no retirement, and lo and behold, he quietly doesn't seem to be.
No one ever disappears, my friend. No one even disappears. I was actually talking to Red a couple days ago. I'm thinking, man, it's been 7 years since I entered a major. I'm thinking about keeping it that way, but
Hey,
who knows?
dude. Hey, Prog.
What's up?
Should we spoil something for the stream?
I got a lot of things I can spoil for the stream.
Well, that pertain to us. That's not Last Dog Legends related.
Hit me up on. Oh, that. Oh, would you like to? We'll set it for a bit. We'll set
Okay,
it for a
okay,
bit.
okay.
What's
We'll
this?
save it
What's
for
this?
I messaged you on Facebook just in case we're not on the
I
same.
think I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so you're going with
Yeah,
Armada.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. Armada and H box. Okay, well we'll just go with those two. Do you want to do match of the year next?
You know, match of the year is actually pretty free for me. I'm always a fan of pulling victory from the jaws of defeat. When it comes to clutch, when it comes to all of that, I got to give the Hungry Box to Devo, man. I mean, Hungry Box will always be one of those guys who will never get, I guess, his propers, and it'll be for a myriad of reasons. But you can't take away his ability to perform in those moments that matter the most. And as many times as it should have been over, it wasn't over, and he was able to close it out. I got to give it to Hungry Box Devo, no
Dude.
question.
Dude, if you guys just want to replay the moment, you know how in football and basketball they have like win probabilities at like every given point of the match?
Right.
Like how close did Armada have that set when like he had the up throw on Hungry Box's last stock and Armada still had two stocks?
And still, Hungry Box, he just does things. And if you're interested in knowing more about what Hungry Box does, please sub on YouTube to Last Stock Legends, as we will have more deleted scenes related to Hungry Box and his clutch factor over the years.
Don't we have a deleted scene?
We actually released a deleted scene earlier today about Hungry Box and I guess the pressure of being Hungry Box. We talk about how the scene has evolved, and Hungry Box, he'll never be heralded like a Mango or an Armada, but I think, he's got more pressure just by the amount of vitriol he receives. He's a talented guy, we all know that, but everyone says, floaties are killing Melee or whatever. We've been hearing that stuff forever now. And yeah, he's had that bearing down his shoulders for years, and he carries that weight on his world, the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's Atlas in the man.
I think it was a very big. What was I going with it? Strong Bad just messaged me about Project M rank, so like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, I think HBox, gets a lot of flack for different reasons, but like, I think this year it was incredible from him. I don't know if I can't really think of much more clutch moments, at least in 2016, from like any esport that rival what Hungry Box did at Evo.
it's in a category of its own, man. It's scary. Like, I don't want to delve too deep into it, but you will hear a bit more about that from Toph and Star probably next week.
Okay. Oh. Oh. Wait, why?
Just some additional stuff that we'll be releasing.
Oh, okay, okay. For some reason, I thought you were like going on the Scar and Toph show for some reason.
Oh, I wish. I won't be in NorCal until G4, but we'll talk about that later on.
Okay. So, match of the year, you had that. Any other things stood out to you?
I was watching it earlier, and I think it's always interesting to note how close people get. And, we can always say that people aren't playing their A game or they're not playing with the level that we're used to. And the thing is, when you're a competitor, you have to have yes, you're going to have bad days, but it's about what you bring to the table on those bad days. And because of that, one set that I was thinking about, I saw it a bit earlier, was from Big House with Mango versus the Moon.
Oh,
Mango,
man, that was so close.
dude, that. Then again, I guess also Summit 2 was earlier this year too, right?
Yeah, it was in the spring.
Oh, dude, Mango Plump, man. Like,
Oof.
I mean, we were standing next to each other during that, right? 'Cause I remember. Sorry, Tappa, but you're going to be in LSL behind the scenes video for that. But
just my reaction, or did I say something?
Just that reaction. Just that reaction.
That's so funny.
I mean, I don't blame that reaction at all, man. I think we all felt that way.
Like, wait, what did I look like? Was I just like surprised, shocked, depressed, excited?
It was. I don't even know. It was like a wave of emotion, mostly fear, and then this exultation, and it was just nuts. But yeah, I think that was also a very, very interesting set. Even Armada M2K from that set from that tournament was really interesting, just because we've always had Armada has been M2K's bane forever. When was the last time he beat Armada before that? Skatar 3? Was there another set before?
Yeah, it was Skatar 3. You got it right.
It was that long ago?
Yeah.
Yikes. That was a 2-year gap. Man. But, yeah, that was... I think that's the thing with M2K. I think Mango said it a while ago, where the more people in attendance, like Leffen at that top pinnacle, the other members of the pantheon, so to speak, the more of them that are there, the less of a chance he has to win. But he can still go off on any and all of them. So I just think that the storyline behind that is certainly fascinating. So that's definitely something for me.
Very cool. I want to reveal mine with Blur later, so that's why I'm not sharing mine.
Okay, all good.
Event of the year.
Ooh.
I see that you got your raccoon face going right now.
I got 2 in mind right now.
Okay. Well, you can name both of them.
I'm just trying to figure out. I can't pick a 1 and a 2. I got to pick a 1A and a 1B. I think that in terms of hype and in terms of importance, Genesis 3, no question, is that event. Everything that people wanted basically happened. It was a storybook event. The venue itself was gorgeous, and you'll be seeing some more about Genesis 3 fairly soon. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Ooh, I saw this. It was good.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some more editing on that fairly soon. And then later on, we're actually going to probably release the rough cut that you saw. But number, I guess, 1B, it was an event that tried a lot of different things and a lot of new things on the production side. And not all of them paid off, but the things that hit, they hit hard and they hit well. So a big shout out to Big House 6.
Awesome.
And then I guess honorable mention, um, Summit is an event that I definitely want to give a shout out to, but I think it's hard for a lot of people to really understand that event because, there's only at most, 30 people there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that, it's hard for a lot of people to get that. But, I think Pound was pretty solid this year as well. SmashCon, I think, is an event that will continue to grow in importance as well because, as I see a lot of people on Twitter asking about, is Melee kind of fading back? Is oversaturation a thing? And yes and no. I don't think Melee is fading back, but I think that now, with all these events going on, people have to figure out, okay, I can't afford to go to all of these. What makes the most sense to me financially? And we're also seeing, a lot of conversion of people who were just viewers or casual, kind of jumping over to the competitive side. And I think SmashCon does a great job of that bridge. One thing I do have concern with SmashCon is, people are on stage playing and then there's a band going on in the background. I think, that might be a bit of a thing to work out in the future. But a lot of the concepts they have in terms of growth, yeah.
I think it's good. It reaches a. If you guys
It's a
haven't
different
never been,
audience.
yeah,
It's a
definitely
different audience and an audience we need to reach out to. So,
it's one of the ways that we expand continuously.
always.
Let's see. Story of the year. I feel like this is up your alley.
Ooh, biggest story of the year for me definitely has to go to the red and the white up north. I mean, we saw Leffen get I Am Legend Tapo. Do you know what I Am Legend means, Tapo? Have you seen that movie, Tapo?
I have.
So, in that movie when Will Smith is washing the dog and talking to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting I Am Legend, because Leffen got washed and they were talking to him. And then, fairly shortly after, Leffen says, "Oh, I'm used to this. Let me know what I'm doing." So I think that Get on My Level, especially after, a performance that he would definitely consider subpar, and I think a lot of people just wrote him off immediately, like, oh man, he's done after that. I think that Get on My Level especially I think that generated so much hype just because of Leffen, making one hell of a run. That's something that who knows if we'll see a run like that again from a player who, I mean, a lot of people consider him, a god slayer, that sixth god. But either way, he's not one of the original people that were considered in that pantheon. It would take a player like, we haven't seen a run like that since really Wobbles at EVO 2013. We've seen people who have taken sets, but to do a run like that and win the tournament, I don't know if we'll see something like that again, man. So I got to go to Leffen.
Yeah. Anything else stand out for you? Because, I know you rock the narratives.
Ooh, let's see. What else? What else happened this year that I thought was really, really dope? Huh. I mean, we already talked about Hungrybox being Mr. Clutch. Mango at Big House 6, Mango, he's one of those people that, as much as we talk about Hungrybox and Armada being consistent, he says himself, you can never count the kid out. So,
dude, were you there in the moment where he looked back at the audience on the last stock of Dreamland?
Bro, I was with people who shall not be named. They know who they are.
Man, when he looked back, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Like, it's, of course, I love emotion. So Mango being that fiery in that moment, you knew like it was done. So I think that was huge. And also, I guess, a third place, even though it's something that he's not going to be too, I guess, appreciative of, Hacks at Pound.
Ooh, that was good.
I mean, that was one hell of a clusterfuck at the end. But for someone who had been on the shelf for so long, people who are wondering if he's coming back, all that stuff, him having that kind of performance. For me personally, I've seen Mango versus Hacks on big stages. I've seen them play at the corner of a Spock tournament back in Philadelphia with no stream, no YouTube setup. These are matches that no one saw for like 2 or 3 of us. So for him to make that kind of statement and pull that off, I know that he's kind of upset at how it ended, but
It's always
I think it bodes well for his future. So I gotta throw it to Mango, to Hacks at Pound.
I didn't even think about that. That was huge. I hope that his hands. I don't know. Did you touch his? I've touched his hands, and they don't feel right. They don't feel human. I don't know.
I actually spoke to him earlier today, and
oh yeah, you were in the chat last weekend.
oh yeah. We won't talk about. We won't talk about.
We won't talk about that.
That's a bit too Illuminati. But I have a lot of high hopes for how this year is going to be for all the Melee fans out there. I think that if you are a Melee fan, 2016 was pretty dope, but 2017, man, if everything comes out the way it's supposed to, yikes!
Well, we can't say anything on stream, but I'm just wondering how Illuminati you are, because I've tasted and I've seen glimmers of 2017, and I'm excited.
We'll talk, I guess, afterwards. But I've seen some things, and I'm afraid. Let me put it that way. I am very, very afraid.
Do you think people?
And I'm glad I'm not active anymore.
Do you think people are ready?
No one's ready. No one is ready.
I actually don't think anyone's ready.
But they have no idea. It's true life. We're going back to that era.
Oh my gosh, it's nuts. So Melee Member of the Year.
Ooh, Member of the Year. I'm gonna vote for you. You've had one hell of an astounding year. You've been writing for ESPN Esports as well as Yahoo. Been doing video content with them. Cloud9 coach, of course. Now, pretty solid ranking with Red Bull Esports. I think that a lot of people tend to forget that what separates Melee, especially for a lot of other scenes, is that the amount of stuff that goes on behind the scenes and the amount of things that are coming out. And there's so many different ways that the audience is reached. And the one thing that I love about Melee's audience is that audience just continues to reach, and they want more and more and more. I know I had this conversation with Bear, talking about Smash 4, and we're trying to figure out, what's going on with that audience. Why aren't they as receptive? And, something that we're going to have to keep working on, I guess, with them and figuring out how to, I guess, get them more enraptured the way that the Melee fans are. But Taffa, you've had one hell of a year, so I would vote for you there.
Aw, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Number 2 would go to me. I am that damn conceited. I had a pretty good year, motherfuckers.
Dude, I'm just happy that you're healthy.
I think that...
Healthier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely feeling the best I have in about 5 or 6 years now. And I'm happy to say that. With the exception of me totaling my car because I'm a moron. Shouts to Mike Hayes, Killer Mike, LP, Run the Jewels. We're going to do that one day. But yeah, I think I had a pretty solid year for at least my own personal goals. It's good to be back. I did a bit of commentary at Big House, a little bit at Pound, Blastock Legends, we've been doing a lot of stuff. We had a lot of really, really dope things we put out on a lot of channels. Really proud of everything we've done. We've basically been around for a year now, and even though it wasn't Smash related, we can say that within our first year, Blastock Legends went from basically a concept to having something air on ESPN2. We had a promo air during the during Capcom Cup. So we're doing pretty big things, and we're really happy to be a part of that. And if you like the big things that Last Night Legends is producing, stay tuned for more because you're gonna love Mondays.
You're gonna love Mondays.
Plural.
Oh yeah. Also, thank you, Dingus. Thank you, Mike, for the start of the sub train. Choo choo. I'm never gonna do that.
Just a dingo. Dingus is one of the few people that actually knows. He's seen Prog Unleashed. I guess true story. Big House 6. I think it was Saturday night. I locked myself out because I forgot my key. So I was basically in the friendlies room playing from about 10 p.m. until about 7 a.m. And then I got like 3 hours of sleep and came back down to finish up the event. But I think a couple of people there saw Prog play for the very first time, and I think they are appreciative that I don't play anymore because they didn't know.
Thank you, Break Your Armor. You're breaking my heart, or you're softening my heart.
Aw.
Breaking my heart actually has a completely different connotation to it.
True.
Any other members of the year?
Let's see. Well, since Dingus just subbed, we're talking about unsung heroes. Lens Melee has been consistently telling people this is what you need to watch out for. And, I think that's one thing that I'll always be appreciative of. Sure, a lot of people will tune in only to watch, their biggest heroes. People will watch, Mango Stream or M2K, so on and so forth. And, the thing about this game is that we can't even say that people are hidden bosses anymore, but that there are bosses everywhere. It's just a matter if you're watching or not. And Dingus, if you're paying attention to what him and the Lens Melee crew is putting out, you don't have an excuse because you're hearing about these players all over the world. Here's when they're active. Here's when they're streaming. So definitely big shout out to Dingus. He's someone that does a lot of big things. Beyond that, let me think who else. We can always go for people like Jello Guy who are doing great things behind the scenes as organizers. Robert Paul, someone that makes us all look so damn pretty. Blur, we don't talk about Blur, but Blur is the Renaissance man. He is one of the best people in, I can't even say in esports. Blur was just one of the best people, man. I remember the first time I played Blur. Jeez, I didn't even want to get into the story. I think Blur and I played for the first time at Prom 2, maybe? Blur, if you're still here, let me know if you remember this. But we played some really, really janky matches, and they were a lot of fun. We should do that again sometime. Definitely want to give a shout out to everyone that does things that aren't seen, because one of the things that you learn as an editor is that it's about not being seen. If you're not seen, that means you're doing a good job. So I would give a shout out to everyone that isn't seen. Blur, do you remember the first time we played? That's my question. What's next category?
Melee Member of the Year.
Ooh, Melee Member of the Year. Smash GG. I'll give it to the entire team.
Damn it, that was mine.
Oh, yeah, I gotta give it to them. It's one thing to basically do what we've seen from Tio and Challenge and all these bracket groups. Thank God we're not using paper anymore. But what they have done in terms of organization and everything that they've done for organizing the scene, catalyzing it, and I guess one thing that is something that we're probably going to end up talking about at G4 is we have all these people who are fans of the game, and how can we get them involved so that this all becomes a bit more sustainable? They're helping us with that, with things like compendiums, and hopefully, those won't be the end-alls of what they do, but they're doing a lot of great things for the scene. I don't think anyone can take away from them, and not just for our scene. You see they're doing for other games, other scenes. So Smash GG, definitely got to throw it to them.
Yeah, shouts to them. They're doing a lot of work. And I think sometimes when you go under an entity or a company, we kind of tend to forget the human elements behind them. We assume that, like, oh, Smash GG, this company, and they don't have feelings, and they need to do everything for us. But behind a company...
If you look at any of those quote-unquote companies, like Smash GG, and I've even heard the same thing about LSL, the thing is, like, all these groups are made up, if not founded by people who've been around here forever. This isn't just a game to us. This is something that has defined our lives. This is where friendships have been made. We've all been a part of this for so long, and it's really, really just dope to see all these people get brought on aboard who have been working tirelessly for years. So a big shout out to Smash GG, definitely. Beyond Smash GG, Member of the Year. Let's throw it to all of the esports coverage in general. Again, I had an interview with, I think, the guys over at Slingshot, but if we look like 3 years ago, God, 3 years ago already, 4 years ago now, when it was just MIOM and Smashboards really talking about Smash, and then later on, after kind of things healed up, we might get some coverage on SRK and Event Hubs, and now Tafo looking all cute on Yahoo Esports, ESPN Esports doing things out there. All this coverage that people would have considered a pipe dream for esports, let alone Smash. And here we are on the front page. So,
dude, you're taking away all my stuff. That was one of my 3 stories of the year.
Tafo, I'm just in your head, man.
You get out of my head.
I'm a Falcon player, man. I got these hard reads.
Get out of my head, Charles. Get out of my head.
But yeah, actually, it's almost been a year since my first article. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, we both got hired as freelancers in January last year, right before Genesis.
Yep.
Damn.
And lo and behold, at the end of the year, we're everywhere, and it's really amazing to see. And I'm really appreciative of not just the opportunities for us personally, but hey, this is something that we all broke our backs for, and people nowadays they care about it. So definitely, it's awesome to see Smash on ESPN. It's awesome to see us on Yahoo Esports, on Daily Dot, so on and so forth. So it's really dope to see other people start to, I guess, see what we have that's special, even though we know that we've had that for so long because we've been a part of it. So.
And I was a part of BBC this year.
Yes, you were.
So
that was pretty dope.
Oh, dude, should I make another sick announcement?
Go for it.
So they, the MIT Sloan Analytics Conference for sports.
Oh yeah, where they talk about statistics and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll be speaking on their esports panel.
Hey, that's pretty dope.
Dude, I'm I'm gonna go. So, like, you know how we tell Smash community members not to get starstruck because they're normal people? Like, if you talk to Mango or Armada, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to contain my inner nerd.
I know who, because this is someone who you might have a statistics crush.
I have many statistical crushes on people. If I get to meet Daryl Morey from the Houston Rockets, Nate Silver from 538, Billy Bean from Moneyball, like I'm just gonna lose it. Like,
I don't blame you, man. I do not blame you at all. And then I guess for third member of the year, do I have to pick a third? My third member of the year is going to be the people. It's always going to be the people. You know, the people are what. The people are the reason why there's a Cloud9 Taffacans, there's a Cloud9 Mango, there's a Alliance Armada. Otherwise, you know, we would still be playing, but we've been the same dingy, dark basements with a quarter as many individuals there. So to everyone out there, whether you're just someone that watches and reads about it, who just absorbs the scene and cares about it that way, yeah, shouts to you all. And you know, even if you just go to locals or you're afraid of going 0-2 in tournament, you know, you all still matter a ton. You know, I hear a lot of people say that, you know, our Smash Bros isn't part of the community. At the same time, you know, a week later, those same people will be asking that same group for donations or for upvotes. So everyone is involved in the scene in one way or another to make it special.
hey,
We can't take any of them for granted.
I wouldn't have a job at ESPN or Yahoo if there weren't viewership.
Yep. So thank you guys for clicking and keeping us both writing.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to write again. It's been a while,
All right.
but I've been distracted with other things.
Newcomer of the year.
Newcomer of the year. I mean,
I'm not sure if this meant players. I'm gonna guess that meant players because
that's what I'm gonna guess.
Do you want me to give
Yeah,
off a list of names to tickle your?
I mean, I
fancy?
think a lot of people are gonna vote for Cyrox. I mean, he's been kind of slept on for a little bit just because, you know, where's he from? Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who really pays attention to Colorado? Like, you know, it's one of those things that when we talk about exposure, no one cares about Colorado unless you.
Unless
No
you're a
one
fan of
cares about
Eichelman.
Colorado.
Unless you're a fan of Eichelman and legalized weed.
Yeah,
Weed
I mean,
maps.
But besides that, you know, I think people are going to talk about infinite numbers. He had one hell of a run at Pound. You know, Ice Climbers players are always going to go into the radar because, you know, that character selection always gets an undeserved amount of hate. But hey, you know, that character was poetry in motion, so shouts to them. We had Trillium up north in Canada, who made a lot of statements this year. I got to play him a bit at Big House, and dude was extremely talented. And I also got to play Zane at Big House. Bro, that guy's pivots, man.
Zane is
No.
crazy.
No, those pivots, no. You're not supposed to be able to pivot like that, man. But there's like a nice, really dope generation of players that are coming up who are already showing their top 32 talent. It's just a matter of seeing how far they're able to go, if they're able to keep it consistent, and you know how many opportunities they're going to get to show off their skills against players of that high caliber. So there's a lot of dope players out there. I see people in chat right now talking about Triff. Man, Triff has been around for so long. I mean, I know a lot of people don't pay attention to the European scene, which is unfortunate. And if you don't and you have $5 a month, I am begging you right now, please sub to Geeky Goon Squad. Leva is another person I mentioned for Member of the Year. What he does with streaming over there what he brought to the streaming game in general. The kid is a monster, and he's always looking to improve. So shouts to him. But Trip has been around for a while.
Yeah, he has.
I think, but it's just now that he's getting opportunities to come stateside. People are going to pay a bit more attention to him. So shouts to him.
Alrighty, and random select.
Random select. So what's this?
Let me give you context by. Let's see. I'll give you context. So let me look at what the other guys put as answers from the lovely FGC Ultra Chen.
Okay. Shouts to James Chen, David, Sajum, and of course the one and only my brother from another mother, the tasty one, Steve.
So James, for example, put Li Dad.
Okay, I got it now.
Okay.
So,
Or like fighting games on TV.
I think that for Melee, it's a matter of it's diversity for Melee, I feel. It's not just the same event, every couple of months now. We see Pound, Genesis, Big House, all those traditional events, but we also had events like Smash Summit 2 and 3. We also had, Battle of the Five Gods on my wall over there. A lot of these different ways to present Smash to different audiences. And I think that, those are always interesting ways to do things. Also, I guess another thing would be Smash Sisters. There's a lot of hype that goes from that event, and it's for the right reasons. You see those ladies playing, and you know that they belong, and hopefully more people feel that way. But I'm really impressed by just what that has kind of developed into. I think that I know that I definitely was one of the people that first was kind of iffy on it, because I felt like if they are going to just stay cloistered away, they're not going to get the full experience. But if they weren't cloistered away, they wouldn't have a reason to go for that full experience, to strive and be better. And maybe if that's their gateway into it, I think that's what makes it all worth it in the end. So I definitely would want to give a shout out to Smash Sisters. What else? Red Bull. I mean, we've seen them making moves, signing Leffen. Of course, my own personal bias. We had a lot of fun doing stuff with the Red Bull. If you guys missed out last year watching the Evidence.zip trailers, those were a lot of fun to do, and they were a lot of fun. I think a lot of different, really, really different from a lot of Smash content that's out there. And a big shout out to them for letting us do that, and even some stuff we did at Evo with them. And of course, we saw Leffen's documentary through them as well. So big things from them. Who else? MIM. I think MIM as a brand and also just as what its alumni continue to do and the people who are on the roster. It started, God, this is going to be the 5-year anniversary of MIM, isn't it?
Let's see. Was ROM really that? Let's see.
Because it was before EVO 2013.
I think it's I think we're at like the 4-year.
It was definitely November 2012, I think.
Yeah, but we'd have to be at November 2017 to.
Right, but so we're approaching the 5-year.
We are approaching the 5-year.
So I mean, I think just gotta give a shout out to the squad now. still kicking. And even though we kind of, I guess, taken a step back as a unit, um, still a lot of dope things have come from that collective, and they're still happening. So shouts to the MIM squad.
Shouts to us. Even though our blog presence is largely gone because I write on other mediums.
I don't even write anymore, man.
Well, you're busy producing videos.
I'm producting.
You're productive.
But yeah, it's been 5 years. Like, we got to do something to, like, oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to like do an old school show one day for the 5 year anniversary.
Ooh. We still haven't created a holiday calendar for Melee. We should really enforce that in 2017.
I think there's going to be too many things to celebrate in 2017 anyway.
Nintendo Recognition Day.
I Kill Mufasa Day.
I Kill Mufasa Day.
But yeah, there's been a lot of dope things happening through the years, and I think that
definitely not the last dope thing.
Oh no! Mm-mm.
You know what's
I mean,
you know what's
I can even think. What's up, Tapo?
You know what's really interesting now that I think about it? In lieu of the Avengers tweet, the random obstacles in our community created Melee on Me and the Illuminati TO Force.
Who knew?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I wasn't in that room.
It was a blessing in disguise.
I wasn't in that room.
I was at work. I'll never forget. I was at work, like, texting people, making phone calls, and my boss is like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like trying to hide that I'm like making phone calls to venues in the area, seeing if they have like an emergency thing. There was like, I think, a beer festival going on at like a local convention center and stuff. So it was rough. It was rough.
Dude, it would have been really funny if you just came in blind. Like, what's that one meme where the pizza guy comes in with pizza and like everything's
on fire?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was basically how it was. Like, it was. I remember getting to the second location as everyone's setting up and schedules being redone and everything. I still don't know how everyone figured that out. That was amazing. But that showed what the community was made of at that point. It just never say die attitude, and we're gonna do what we can with what we got. And lo and behold, it turned into one of the most memorable experiences ever.
Hey, Kakarot, Vegeta.
Oh man,
it birthed many awesome moments.
Oh, definitely.
Easy money.
Dude, I still like every time I listen now, because I think one of my ears wasn't working and Eichelman was talking. I couldn't hear what he said, so it sounded like he was talking in Russian. I'm just like, sorry, Eichelman.
The set is already over. Oh man, that was really, dude. I felt like I was gonna die. You know why? What was it? We drove to. Does anyone know about the Twitch after party that happened? That like only like 10 people went to.
At Apex?
Yeah.
I don't know, because actually I left Apex early because it was that snowy weekend. I had to drop off my boyfriend at the time so he could go to work. I went to work, no sleep, and then I had to fly out to San Fran. So it was a rough day for me.
Oof. What was it? That's rough. So, if we were to go back 2 years ago.
Oh, but Taffer, I thought we were gonna make a small announcement.
Are we gonna make the announcement?
Be my guest.
So I'm glad that we could do a lot of this banter so we can build chemistry, because we're doing a block together at Genesis 4. Prog and I are commentating together for a block at Genesis 4. What is this? Is it 2014? Nah, it's 2017.
I know. Yeah, I've been sneaking around the mic here and there. People don't notice, It's kind of funny, I think, that every time I commentated last year, I wasn't supposed to. Pound 5, I don't remember who, I remember now. But yeah, I was supposed to commentate then. And then Big House 6, yeah, I wasn't supposed to commentary that weekend, but I ended up there. I spent most of last year basically behind the scenes, hanging out, doing production stuff. But part of my heart is always going to be on the mic, so it's going to be good to return. It's good to be back. I miss commentary.
I'm super excited. I don't know what
I'm
time.
excited too.
What was that?
I miss it too.
Maybe, and then what was it? I don't know when I think the full commentary schedule is going to come out pretty soon, so I'm like pretty excited.
Yeah, I guess I can let people know the other block I'll be with. Right now, I'm going to be with the person. Quick trivia fact: I teamed with this person at Evo 2014, I believe, and we lost to PewFat and Kid Boogie in Kalamazoo.
In hindsight, that looked like a really stacked event.
Yeah, I think we got like 13th, 15th, 19th, something. I don't know. I don't remember. But it'll be me, and I last commentated with this person in New York City at an event that featured Nunn, Yappy, and Leffen. Was Leffen at that tournament?
Rip.
I feel like Leffen just bodied everyone at that tournament, I think. I don't remember. But yep, it'll be myself. We're taking it back to the YouTube era. Homemade waffles. Let's go.
Let's go. Homemade waffles. Shouts to Homemade Waffles, the master of shout-out givers.
Homemade.
He's the ultimate shout-out giver.
He's the Don, man. It's actually kind of funny that we'll be commentating together because the first time we were supposed to commentate together was at ROM 3. Oh, God. Blair, you know the story, right?
Wait, Blair is trying to ruin our fun.
Blair was in the house, I believe, for this, but for the folks that don't remember ROM 3, we had to stream on the first day. Second day, no stream. So I sat... Oh, if you've seen the pictures I've been tweeting out, in fact, I'll link one in the chat right now. Let me find it. But I did not move that entire day from the start of the event until it finished because I was typing up play-by-play. But Homemade Waffles and I were supposed to commentate the first time together then. And they ended up having Has, D-Run, and Homemade Waffles doing commentary while I typed out play-by-play to, I think, over 1,400 people in the stream chat just reading what I was typing. So, Waffles and I, we go way, way back. He basically got me started doing YouTube uploads because everyone in NorCal, they weren't right. But I felt like the players we had on the East Coast at that time, Vans, J-Man, Scar, Cactuar, Pac-Man, PC Chris, Hacks, Me2King, Eggum, J-Man, so on and so forth. I thought they were pretty good. So, I started uploading because I felt like we need to showcase our players the same way that Homemade Waffles and the crew did out in NorCal. So, he and I have always had like that respect for each other. If you remember the Game Theory era.
Game Theory. I love Game Theory. And would you put the little words in the little brackets?
Yeah, I did that before Alex19 did it. Tell him I said that.
I don't think anyone would deny it.
I know. um, but yeah, we both did the game theory videos and everything. Waffles, that's my man, man. That's my man, 100 grand. So it's gonna be awesome to work with him again.
It's gonna be sick. I'm excited. I'm starting to get more excited for Genesis, and normally I don't get excited until like I'm physically there, but like I'm already getting hyped.
Well, Tafel, I mean, you should be hyped for what I showed you.
Dude.
It's kind of funny because I guess to people who know what we're talking about, if they've seen me on Instagram, I talked about it. Let me actually pull up a post real quick so I can tell people without telling them.
Wait, you're on that Instagram life? That's one of the things I told myself I should probably be doing more.
Like, I never promote my Instagram. I never promote when I stream on Twitch. I move in silence nowadays. So if you follow me, you know.
You're like the
but
wind.
If not,
you're like the wind. Like nobody knows when you come, and nobody knows the direction when you leave.
Oh, they know when I come, Tafo. They know. Shouts to my boyfriend on his birthday.
Did he like his Christmas gift?
Oh, dude, he had a ball, man. It was he got that I got him a Rowlet hoodie, Mario Maker, and a couple of other things. And today, dozen roses because I'm a romantic like that, and the Pikachu Game Boy Color and Pokemon Yellow. So.
Ooh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And also, actually, I see Brian Buckley in the chat. Brian actually got to meet him while we were in Atlanta. Him and Sleepy K. We got a chance to hang out at Battle and Brew for a little bit, and he knows that my boyfriend's total casual. Dude just uses B-moves, has no idea what he's doing, and we won't talk about that. But yeah. So right now, even though we're going to edit it down, what I went through for this, in terms of just total footage to go through, about 470 gigs, so nearly half a terabyte. The video itself is 6.5 gigs right now, and 54 minutes. Yeah, 54 minutes. But we're going to cut it down probably to about 40, and if you're one of the Kickstarter backers, we'll release the rough cut that I did. So, yeah. So if you're not hyped for Genesis quite yet, let me look at my calendar right now.
Well, so I watched it, and the Melee nerd inside of me was very excited to watch all the 56 minutes.
Yeah, I think that one of my biggest concerns with cutting this is that I know that I'm one of those folks who I love hearing tidbits and I love hearing a lot of things. And I wasn't sure, if it's worth keeping in. So, yeah. I was really concerned, but I sent it to a bunch of people with the concern of the duration. Everyone said that basically, you know what? It can be cut down a bit, but if it stays that duration, not really a big deal. It's because it was just so filled with good stuff. So mark your calendars for... Do I want to do this, Tapo? Do I want to let them know to mark their calendars?
Yeah, you got to.
Is this a Tapo Kins exclusive?
Nah, let's share it with the people.
Okay. This is exclusive for your stream. Stream, don't tell anyone. Between us. January 16th. Yeah. And if you can't wait that long, don't worry. January 9th, I got something else for you.
Keep them entertained. Prog, if
So
I ever had romantic relationships with you, I'd be very frustrated.
why?
The ups and downs, the teas.
Oh, you don't even want to know. You don't want to know.
I actually don't want to know, actually, the more I think about it.
Point taken.
I actually don't want to know the more I think. I'm like, wait.
Shouts to Vicky in the chat right now.
Vicky's in the chat.
Vicky's like, Prog, don't even think about my man. Vicky, I got my own man. We good, girl. We going shopping together.
To be fair, I'd be getting a taste of my own medicine in general because I'm such a huge troll.
Yeah.
I'm such a troll. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
But yeah, you know, we got some good stuff coming down the pipeline, so I hope you all stay tuned. Including, so I haven't even spoken about this in public yet, but we're figuring out pre-production for season 2. And we're gonna do something different, but you know, you'll hear more on that in the future. So everyone, stay tuned. The future is going to be very, very interesting.
It is. There's so much that like I know that like
No, and you can't say anything.
I can't say anything.
Nope. I know it. You know it. But
Dude, that's like my big complaint of like SSBM rank is that like I know everything, so it's not exciting. It's like everyone's like, oh my gosh, like who's gonna be rated higher? Who's gonna be in the top 10? I'm like, yeah, like I know, life is boring.
You know, things will happen.
Dude, if somebody like were to capture me in the Melee community and like I don't, that would suck because I have information that people try to extract from me.
Yeah, I mean, Taffa, you're one of those people who knows it all, so.
Actually, I know like probably 60. I'm like 60% deep. I think Blur is like 99. If you guys want to kidnap somebody, kidnap Blur.
Keep him. We don't want him.
Kidnap Blur. He has more information than I do.
Blur is the Nicolas Cage of Smash.
Dude, have you seen Nicolas Cage's agent on College Humor?
No.
Dude, you should watch it. It's actually really funny. It's just basically Nicolas Cage fielding phone calls for roles for Nicolas Cage, and they get more and more absurd. And Nicolas Cage just goes like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
It's okay, Blur. We won't kidnap you. But actually, Blur, I think you need to get on the show, right?
Yeah, he does.
That said, I guess I'll sign off. But shout out to all you for tuning in. Taffa, thanks always, man. A pleasure. Pleasure chatting with you, and it'll be a pleasure chatting with you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Shouts to everyone that's been supporting LSL, and yeah, big shouts to everyone that everyone out there that showed love all these years. It's always good to call Smash home and make a return. So big thing for me is 2017. I said I didn't want to make any resolutions, but my one resolution is to find my proper balance and everything. 2015 I was basically out of action, so I pushed myself a bit too hard. This year I want to keep pushing myself, but I also want to be able to maintain. I want to be able to be Prog and to keep Winton Smith in good health, if that makes sense. So I'm figuring that out.
Yes.
That said, this weekend, if you are a fan, please watch Apollo. It'll be a pretty dope event in my home city of New York. Unfortunately, I won't be there because it's probably snowing right now, actually. So we're expecting about 4 to 8 inches tonight, or over the course of this weekend. I'm not driving in that, man.
One of those cases where 48 inches might not be that good of a thing. Alrighty, we'll leave you be.
You know what, Taffo? I'm out.
You're
It's like
out. That's a good
college.
segue.